r/AskReddit. What's the most uncomfortable question you can ask someone? How come I wasn't invited? For extra cringe, ask this in a loud voice as you crash an ongoing party that you were not invited to. Bonus points if you start hyperventilate crying. When I was like 11 I actually did this. I had no idea why I wasn't invited, and I convinced my parents that I got dropped off, and actually started crying midway through, because I was just wondering why I wasn't invited. I was not a good 11-year-old. I was once invited to a party, at the end of which the hostess asked me, "How do you keep finding out about these?" That ducking stung. Never talked to them again. Bruh, I got a "What are you doing here?" from 2 guests at a party that was at my own house. Granted I didn't throw the party, but it definitely sucks seeing 2 friends from class show up at your sister's party, not realizing it's your house and them being surprised and irritated that I was there. Yep. I did this at age 20. My mother had a full-blown wedding. I lived with her at the time. Everyone knew she was getting married except me, the one person who did everything for her, aside from my stepdad. I literally paid more than half the bills to that house when I lived with her. My 5 other siblings knew. Even the dog knew. He was in a duck-eyeing suit. I literally came out of my bedroom in my work uniform and saw my mother leaving in a wedding dress and a ton of family members all dressed in formal attire. Her excuse was, "Because you're always working." This just made me emotional and angry all over again. In high school, this one kid in my circle of friends had a party and literally invited every other person we were friends with, but he didn't like me, so I wasn't invited. It was a beautiful Friday night in the springtime, and it was perfect weather to go out and do stuff, but I had nobody to hang out with because they were all there. On Monday, I straight up asked him, "Hey, if you're not going to invite me to something next time, can you at least leave me someone to hang out with?" I don't know how that made me look, but at that point I didn't care. One time my entire class planned a movie outing and told me the wrong movie theater, so I wouldn't come. There I was, 12 years old, left to watch a movie by myself knowing everyone in my class hated me. It was a rough time. I did this sorta unintentionally in college. A work/school acquaintance was having a birthday party that night and I invited myself over because I was a college freshman and I didn't want to be left out of any parties. Turns out it was a more private affair with maybe 10 people. I felt awful about it, but she was just too nice to tell me no. Weren't you pregnant? Something like this happened to me. A girl I worked with was pregnant and ended up taking leave just before giving birth. Several months later she was back at work part-time and she seemed totally normal, so I wanted to be nice and said something like, "Hey, there's the new mom. Great to see you again. Super happy for you. How's the baby doing?" A dude I worked with was behind her and saw us talking and started waving his hands while silently mouthing "oh god no stop" sorta stuff, but it was way too late. She said she lost the baby due to miscarriage. Oh. Whoops. I will never ask anyone that question again. I had zero clue it happened and nobody had mentioned a thing about it when she came back. I felt terrible about it. And on pregnant women, how far along she is. Ding ding. I have 2 Sarahs at my work. I heard one was pregnant. I congratulated the fatter women, who was just fat. Oh no. Oh yeah. If you are good friends, they will tell you they are pregnant when they are ready. If you're not good friends, you should never ask. Really? The potential to hurt someone is way bigger than the benefit, which is usually, oh, just making conversation. This goes double for the workplace. Where's my hug? I asked my then boyfriend this question when I was 19. He immediately looked shocked, looked over to the side, said, "Oh, there it is." Went over and hugged the air, then came back and hugged me. This is going to be particularly hard to do with my imaginary girlfriend. Lol, this gives me some flashbacks. After work on a Friday I was saying goodbye to one of my friends and I gave her a hug. Here comes Brett. Hey, where's my hug? So I give him the biggest bear hug, the kind that traps their arms at their sides, and picked him up off the ground. There's your hug, Brett. My friend said he didn't ask much after that, but you bet your balls I'd tell Brett, hey Brett, I got your hug right here buddy, with outstretched arms. He would give me an uncomfortable look like ooh gross. Yeah Brett, that's how you are making everyone feel. Why does everyone hate you so much? I hate this one so much. I lived in a small town so everybody knew everybody. High school was rough, I didn't know how to stick up for myself and soon became the scapegoat for bullies and rumors. Once our senior year hit people matured a little and started being nicer to me. I made a lot of friends suddenly and all of them would ask, why does everybody hate you? You're not like they say. It was awkward because most of those people were the ones contributing to the rumor/bullying. If you come in the back office with me right now, just you and me, are you gonna be cool about it or be a snitch? Asked by my old boss at a grocery store. He just was offering me shots of Fireball because it was almost closing time on New Year's Eve, but that phrasing sounded kinda fishy. Sounded super fishy. Sounded ultra fishy. Sounds unfathomably fishy. At a job interview, do I have to do a drug test? You do now. I actually asked this question once, and I was told, if we tested everybody we wouldn't have enough employees. LMAO. Are we still friends? Or, who's your best friend? Especially when one of your friends asks it. Takes me back to when my best friend casually started talking about how much she wished she had a best friend. Have you seen our toothbrush? My husband and I unwittingly use the same toothbrush for an undetermined time period. I didn't notice till one night I went to use it, and it was wet. We had different schedules at the time. The man's tongue has been in my mouth and other places, and not much grosses me out, but the idea of sharing a device intended to scrape the bacteria and decomposing food buildup off another person's teeth, just too much for me. We both still swear the other was wrong. But we keep our toothbrushes in very separate locations. Doctor, in front of parents, are you sexually active? Now, that's when you start bragging, haha. Your dad fist bumps you when your mom isn't looking. I saw an old high school acquaintance at a club once. She had always been super skinny in high school, but this night she had a very pronounced belly. I assumed since she had always been skinny and only had grown in her belly, that she was pregnant. She was not. As a male I operate under a policy that the only time that you can ask a woman if she's pregnant is if she is in active labor and the baby is crowning, and even then you must exclaim surprise that you had no idea. Did you bathe properly today? This is a conversation I had to have with a coworker once. His smell was very distracting for everyone in the office. Guy's wife had died, and he just sort of stopped taking care of himself afterward. A couple of us got him set up with a therapist. He left the company shortly after for a less stressful job, but I saw on Facebook a while later the guy's doing much better. Are you uncomfortable? If they say no, then you should reply with, do you want me to make you uncomfortable? While unbuckling your belt. Why are you so quiet? This makes my blood boil. I'm a fairly quiet person in social settings and have received this question a few times. It makes you and the people around you feel awkward. Like, let people be quiet if they want to be. Not everyone is a social butterfly. I get anxious easily, even around my own family, since they get pretty loud. My ex's family was also loud and always asked me why I was quiet, especially his one aunt that went so far as to tell me I didn't belong in their family. Mind you, I only met them a handful of times, so I didn't know them well. I responded with, I guess I don't belong in mine either then. Cue her surprised Pikachu face and us walking out. I was kind of proud of that, haha. To the gay couple, which one of you is the girl? Neither of us, Nancy, that's kind of the point. Can you tell me something about yourself? Yep. What do you think of me? Whenever someone says this to me, I'm always so puzzled and awkward about the whole thing. What do you want me to say? Well, there's the divide. Many people ask the question more implying, tell me something that will make me feel you're sincere, but will flatter me, vs. tell me what you literally think. People like to be valued but not measured, seen but not observed, heard but not scrutinized, understood in the moment, but not understood in totality. The former makes them feel significant. The latter reduced. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is why I hate interviews. I don't even see myself doing anything in an hour and they think I have 5 years planned already, WTF. The same place I see myself now, mirrors. Once, back in college, when meeting my then girlfriend's parents for the first time, her dad greets me with a handshake. Nothing odd about that at all. Then, in mid-shake he says, so you're the guy ducking my daughter. I was genuinely rendered speechless. I'm a firm believer in equal partnership. So to be fair, sir, your daughter and I are ducking each other. Hey, we need to talk. This is the worst, especially over text. Just reply, yeah, I think we do. Then you're both having an anxiety attack. Do you have a sister by chance? Would you settle for a brother? Would you settle for me? On a scale of 1 to 10, how pretty do you think you are? It's bad because, if you give yourself a high score they'll assume that you're egotistical, and if you give yourself a low score they'll either assume that you're insecure, or that you're fishing for compliments. Everyone always answers this with 7. I say 7, if the person asking is hot, 6 if they're not. I'm a 6 in case you're curious. Why is that clown following you? He's my boyfriend. Have you ever considered plastic surgery? That's just insulting.